what I'm doing is I gotta paint these black, but right now I gotta sand this stuff out. So if you ever have this issue with your, see, these were already factory finished, and the factory finished paint is a lot more brittle than compared to this other stuff, which there's not too much of it on here, but you can see right here where it's like coming off, where it's kind of hard, just like a shell. But you want to sand all these rough edges down. See all these little sharp edges? The sharp edges is what you want to sand down. See? Yeah. See the sharp edges right there? I'm going to sand all of them down, and the same with this one. That far hit was at 120. So now I'm going to hit it with 220. Now that right there is a perfect blend of what you want. Because anywhere you got stuff like this, where it's just like a flat chip, like it's a real sharp chip, any place that you got something like that, when you paint this, you'll see that. So in order to get that out, you can either sand it off or sand that edge down. And a lot of times it's easier just to sand it down and sand it off. But this right here is actually bit real good. For some reason it's not really coming off, so I'm just sanding it out. But all this stuff right here will come off. Don't forget, for new tips, new content, hit that subscribe button. Plus you'll help us out getting this to the you help us get this channel up and running like it really needs to be. So I would really be grateful if you could hit that subscribe button. It's totally free. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Leave a comment, tell me what you think. You know what I mean? And then what you're gonna do is, as you're sanding this off, you're actually sanding this too. So this right here be knocked down to a real nice finish. And if you notice, I'm sanding it with the green. I'm not going this way. That's the worst thing you can do, because if I went like this, even though I'm painting this, you'll still see it. Like you can see every one of these marks. That's what I'm saying. If you scratch them or anything like that, you'll see it. That's why it's actually an issue if you sand across grains. Anytime you do rocking chairs, it's always easier to get them turned over so you can work on one side. I kind of got this one in a weird spot, but and when I first did this, you can see where it's all off the grains all furred up. And you gotta sand it with the green so it takes it down. For new tips and new content, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and hit that like button. See these little cracks? They're rock. It's where they rocked over top of rocks and it cracked the paint. So the whole time they're rocking, they're actually grinding whatever they're sitting this thing on. They're sanding this edge down with it the entire time that they're rocking. And a lot of people don't realize that, but every time you put a rocker chair on a front porch or something like that, and you rock it, it'll just grind in that concrete every time. And wood's softer than concrete, so just to give you an idea. I sanded all these, but this is the one I haven't really sanded all the way down yet. You can still see the fuzz in it. But you really, there's some right there. That's a perfect example of what it does. And when you do this, like when you get this, you got to turn it all in one direction to get it knocked off. Because you got to sand it off, not because if you sand with the grain, it'll keep rolling up and keep rolling up, and get fluffier and fluffier. So one way will clean it up, the other way will fluff it up, make it worse. This right here is 120. It'll cut right through this crap. But this, like, see if you got any spots like this where it's chipping real bad. This 120 will knock that down real quick. Because that's the main thing. You want to get that stuff off of it so you can buff what's underneath of it so you can paint it. So some 120 will rip it down faster. Then you come back through with some 220 or some 150. And it'll take all the stress cracks out of there. Because that's what you're going to see. Like if we paint this, because we're going to paint these, we're painting them black. But if you paint those, even though it's going black, you're going to see every imperfection in it. And like this one right here, like that especially, you'll see that rough edge. You'll see this. You'll see all these. And here's a prime example of what this stuff was doing before. So you go through there and hit it with some 120, and what you're doing is you're knocking the surface of the paint down. You're sanding the surface out and you're feathering this at the same time. But the main thing is knocking the surface down to this. And see this crack where it's already loose? It'll sand that out too. So yeah, that's why it's coming out. Now all the loose is off. This is how you do something without having to get too. It's not people. I don't understand this. Like people say that you sand too much or whatever, but I don't understand that because it's easier just to take this off and resurface it so it looks new again. But if not, this is what you got to do, and sometimes you got to sand more than what it would take just to rip all this off. Like I can get a heat gun this, and peel it off quicker than I can sit here and sand it. Especially if it's going to get painted anyway. But what happened is the original finish, the primer failed. And then it started cracking from being in the sun all the time. From being in the sun, in the rain, in the sun, in the rain. And if you got wood that's getting saturated, dried out, this is what it does. But then when they're rocking it, it just rolls like a sponge. You gotta think, if you're over 100 pounds, you're gonna make this chair bend, even if you don't want to. But I just wanted to show you guys how I prepared my sanding and stuff like this. I need to, all that's got to come out. It's got to have a nice even flow like that right there. That's why it's easier just to sand it off. Because by the time you get done feathering it, like feather sanding it, because that's what you mainly call that. Anytime you got a crack like that and you got two different lips, like you got the paint and then you got the crack and then you got the finish, like the wood, You got 3 surfaces right there. And if I paint that, that's what you're going to see. And you'll want to see that. So you want to blend that chip line into the white.
Just another reminder to make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for new tips and new content like this. And make sure if you want to leave a comment and hit that like button.
And it's so much better to do the whole thing at once. See, you want to sand this stuff off. Like me personally, I would rather power wash this stuff than sand it. But if you power wash it, then you gotta take a chance on it getting soaking wet, and then you have to let it dry, and then you'll be able to sand it. So if you got the time to power wash it, it's so much easier to power wash this than it is to sand all this stuff down. Because no matter what, it's crud, it's mold, all kinds of stuff. And the last thing you want to do is hand sand this stuff, because that's how you end up sick. But either way, it needed cleaned off, and because even though it's going black, if I paint that, it's just going to stay there. So all this sponge is doing is just knocking it off, and it's giving it a little buffing at the same time. So it's doing like 2 jobs in one. But the good thing is these triggers are a few years old, so it's not like they're gonna look brand new again. They're just gonna look like a fresh paint job. But if you power wash these, it'll blast all this stuff down. It'll so much nicer to do. And it's sprinkling out right now, you can see it. So just remember, don't sand any spot that's soaking wet like that, because it doesn't help it. It's been drizzling all day, so just enough to get in your way. You see these lines? Every time you sand one area, you want to walk it around, so you're drawing the whole surface. Like, and whenever you work on areas like this, if you're here, sand all this. Then all you gotta do is worry about the front, and then you have the front over here. But once I get done with this, I'll take a dust brush and go through here and dust it down real good. And it'll help get the extra off in these corners and stuff. Because all you really need to do is take this and just like run it in the corner, and it'll peel all that stuff out of there. Like even these. But there's other ways of doing that too. But this little dude right here, you definitely want to get that dirt off of there. Even if you got to wipe it off, it don't matter. Like, it just needs to come off. I've been kind of sanding it because it seems to knock off all the flakes a little better too. And like these medallions, you can either pop these out and re-glue them in, or you can tape them off, which I run tape across it. Then I'll take a knife and I'll cut this, and I'll cut it around. That way the tape, like if you tape it, and then you cut down in it, it'll push the tape down in it instead of away from it. That's why sometimes it's easier to just run tape across it and and cut the outer edge with a knife. Which I'll do that here in a minute, but right now I'm just showing you guys how to keep this crud off here real quick. Because I already did that one, and you can tell how much cleaner it is.
If you guys want to see the spray part of this, make sure you guys stick around because I'm going to be adding that video soon too. So I'll be adding that within the next day or so. But make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for new tips and new content, and hit that like button.
And it sucks because these dowel rods, you literally got to clean all the way around them, top from this point all the way around here, and then do the front to the bottom. And it makes it easier. Like, you do it this way, then you can do the fronts. Then you can do the fronts. That's what I was saying, sometimes these sponges will clean it a little bit better than a wet rag. Plus, when it's done, you ain't got to worry about it being wet. But it's super hot out, so we definitely don't have to worry about it drying slow. In any of that real thick dirt like that, what happens is when you paint it, the paint will stick over top of the dirt, and it looks like it'll be like a real rough texture. And seeing that the chairs have been sitting so much, see, your t-shirt will sand that over time. Every time you sit in it, your t-shirt will sand it and sand it and sand it. Which you can see, I haven't sanded that too much. Those are spots that your clothes will sand just sitting down at it every day. But the worst thing about this thing is it was sitting on a front porch, and it would get rained on, and it would take forever for it to dry because it didn't have no sun on it. And that's why it started to mold over time, because anything that gets wet and doesn't dry fast, it'll start molding, especially in the summertime. These dudes, once I get them clean, wipe it all down, and then I'll be ready to paint them. So